Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect, episode 145. Today's date is May 29th, 2022, and I am Duds or Duds Versus, known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I'm Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. So how have you been feeling lately, Duds?
Well, by the sound of my voice, you should be able to tell. Oh man, I'm still sick.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting over the sickness. I don't feel horrible like I did last week. Last week I felt like absolute garbage.
Oh, okay.
This week I just kind of sound like absolute garbage.
Yeah, you definitely sound just as sick as last time, if not maybe a little more.
Yeah, physically I don't feel as bad.
That's good.
My nose is still running. It's still leading me to cough. And that's just it. The worst part is the cough isn't necessarily because of the sickness. It's because my nose is draining to the back of my throat, and that's what's causing me to cough. It's like, come on, give me a symptom I can treat correctly. But yeah, so lots of sniffles, lots of coughing and stuff. It took me till about Thursday to really start feeling better. And the worst part is, at work, we were already short a guy. Like, they got COVID, so they weren't allowed to come into work, which means we were shorthanded, which means I couldn't take time off even though I was sick. Now, that being said, I'm pretty sure work would have allowed me to take off if I needed to for being sick. But I'm one of those guys where I knew I was already going to be isolated in the back of the warehouse, not near anybody, because I had to cover for the person who had COVID. So I just went to the back of the warehouse where I was by myself and just did my work. Kind of hoping to sweat some of the sickness out or whatever.
Yeah, it usually helps. But that's, I don't know, usually it helps like when you go to bed, you sweat it out.
Yeah.
At least that worked for me.
I was coming home exhausted and wore out. Friday was the first day I came home and I wasn't like terribly tired. Like I was wore out, but it wasn't one of those like I'm exhausted, I can't even move from my desk kind of nights.
Yeah.
That being said, that I basically didn't work on an episode at all this week. And I feel really bad because the episode was already like a week behind. And it's like, sorry.
Yeah.
I have worked on it a bit this weekend when I've had time. I'm about halfway through it now. By the time this episode comes out, my episode might have already come out. Or if it hasn't come out yet, it will be in the next day or two.
That's good. Looking forward to it.
Pretty happy with the build I'm working on now. The only problem is it's kind of a shorter episode. So if I have creativity strike me and I can throw something else in there, and just one of those like, hey, I don't mind staying up to knock out some creativeness. If I don't have that happen, it's just going to be a shorter episode. Just go ahead and get it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. This one has a skit in it I'm really happy with. I've been wanting... The skit's been done for like 3 weeks now, and I've been wanting everyone to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't get it out.
You did show me, and it's pretty good. I like it.
I'm pretty happy with it. Other than that, I took a piece of pipe to the forearm. Well, actually, I took a piece of pipe to both forearms, and my left one took the brunt of it. So when we're unloading pipe out of a semi-truck, they use machine oil to make the pipe, and it's getting greasier and greasier and greasier. So like we're wearing gloves and everything, like leather gloves to take this stuff off. Well, you go to pull, and I went to toss the pipe, and it slipped out of my hand because it was so greasy. Took a nice little chunk out of my forearm. I'm pretty sure I should have gone and got stitches, because every time I put a Band-Aid on it, when I take the Band-Aid off, I ended up just re-ripping open the wound.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. And like, it's time to change my bandage again, and I really don't want to take it off because it hurts so bad.
Pretty heavy pipe then, I imagine.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'm still sick, so. How was your week?
Well, mine wasn't much better. I started this new job, right? Usually, you start a new job, get pretty excited. It's a new thing, a new deal.
Yeah.
Well, my title in this job is Bull Crew Mechanic, or Bull Crew, what's the word I'm looking for? Maintenance. So I go around to coal plants in my area, which I think are 5 different coal plants.
And fix the bulls.
And no, we don't fix bulls, but we go and we fix
Dang.
everything inside the plant. Anything that were to get fixed, we fix it. I mean, we weld, we grind, we cut steel. If anything were to break, we go in and fix it. And it's a pretty labor-intensive job. And because of that, I haven't been able to play on the server. When I come home, my wife, she gets on me about playing 7 Days to Die with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll play like an hour or so with her. But I just get so exhausted from work. I only play a little bit. But yeah, I haven't been able to record anything. I did get a little bit done with my palace on the inside. I still not sure what this thing's going to look like on the inside. I do want to finish it and get some kind of content out there. For me, it's been like 2 weeks. Actually, yeah, this weekend would be 2 weeks. And we're recording late Sunday.
Yeah.
It's pretty late right now.
For people to understand, we normally record around 10:30 to 11 a.m. on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It is 9:53 p.m.
Yep, pretty late here.
Yep.
Like I said, with work, I've worked 7 days this week. I should be working 6 days a week from now on. I mean, the only reason I got Monday off tomorrow is Memorial Day, so not too sure what to expect, really. What I do know is, it's definitely a rough job. It's nothing, I don't know, it doesn't make it easy to just come home and jump on the computer and, play Minecraft or record. So it's definitely, cutting into that time. So hopefully I can figure out a schedule to where I can keep making content because, it's different to say that.
Yeah, honestly, the only thing I can say is when I started my new job recently, it was the most labor-intensive job I had done. So the first couple weeks to maybe month, I was just coming home exhausted. And it's really just get through that. Find a way to take care of yourself enough to get through that. And then your body starts adjusting to it, and it's not as bad anymore.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I know with my job, you're eligible for a raise like 2-3 months at a time. And you can get a nice size raise. And because I don't really know much about this work, I've got the job because my brother-in-law, was able to recommend me, which is really cool for him. I needed a job. But the only way I'm going to be able to move up is work ethic. That's the only thing I really got at this point because I don't have the knowledge to do this stuff. So I gotta do what I can at work until I'm able to know things, know how to do things. I can, pace myself at that point.
Yeah.
But right now, kind of just got to go and get it. Besides that, I think that's my week.
Well, let's go ahead and hop into the news because we do have a little bit of Minecraft news. And by a little bit, I do mean a little bit.
Wee little bit.
Let's talk about the one big piece of news.
Oh, before we talk about that, do we want to have a bet on the release date?
I don't think that would be a good idea to do that now.
Is it too soon?
So, yeah, 119 release date is June 7th.
Pretty close.
But that's a Tuesday.
A little over a week. For the ones listening to this, less than a week.
Yep. Jimbo and I have some things in the works. Yeah, there was a pre-release 3 that just came out too. And it's more changes to the Wardens Sonic Boom. So now protection enchantments have no effect on the Sonic Boom. I don't really understand that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, what's up with this Warden?
I'm done trying to figure out Warden attacks.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Warden's just not going to be a fun mob for me.
No?
It's going to be something I'll probably go down and hang out with a bunch of people, and we'll spawn Wardens that way and kind of run around to see who's going to die first. But as a technical mechanic in the game, the fact that you don't have any way to really defend yourself other than not spawning it, because there's so many people who go, well, just stand still, don't move. The Warden can sniff you out. It will find you that way. It's like the Warden doesn't have a weakness.
I feel like it just keeps getting buffed.
Right.
There's no nerf with the Warden. It was nerfed at first, and they just keep buffing it.
Well, last week we literally had a tweet from a dev saying that they were good with where the Warden was.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they buffed it again.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Maybe the buff was already done on their end, and it wasn't announced yet. So
maybe.
I don't know. It'll be one of those things I have to experience in person, but on paper, it's like,
yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah?
Like most of my gameplay on Minecraft is SMP. So of course I imagine the community going out and doing what is it? Ancient City raid. In that case, everything's going to be looted. And it's going to make it a lot easier to make it in and out without dying. I really want to do it by myself one time. At least, I don't know, even if it's not recorded, I may have to record it just because of the content value. But yeah, I do want to try it by myself. I like the challenge. I like the new challenge they put in there, whether the Warden is OP or not. I still like to give it a shot. I don't feel like you get the whole aspect with a community raid like that.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, it's just the difference in player styles. That's all there is to it.
Exactly. Yep.
There's some vibration changes. Vibration is a huge part of pre-release, and it's basically changing when vibration signals get sent out when you it's when you finish eating. So if you start eating and you're scared you're going to send off the warden, you can not eat, cancel the eating, and it won't make a sound. I think if you drop an item on the ground, though, that creates a sound now, which is weird considering items don't ever touch the ground. They hover above it.
Yeah, good point. Well, they do activate pressure plates, though.
This is true.
So there is some kind of contact, I guess.
Yeah, there is that.
But yeah, you always get that little hover spin look from an item.
Mm-hmm. The shield producing vibrations, all that stuff. It's just a bunch of bug fixes in pre-release 3. It's been a bunch of bug fixes for a little while now.
And Warden buffs.
And Warden buffs.
Mm-hmm. Like even the sounds you make, these weren't detectable at first. They're making more things detectable. That's technically buffing the Warden right there. So you're getting both of them in that sense.
Yeah, like I said, I'll have to see how the Warden goes, but on paper, I'd rather fight a Wither than a Warden.
Yeah, I agree.
There are Bedrock players screaming at me right now. It's because you play on Java. Yeah, get a computer.
I can only imagine how many hardcore worlds are demolished because of the Warden.
Not surviving the Warden.
Yeah, that's going to do it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's going to be at least 100.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's kind of it. The real big news was June 7th release date.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to it.
Let's get into some listener comments. We have one for NerdinessExtreme. They say, "Hello, DuDs and Jimbo. I was wondering what you think about a bridge as a new river structure. It could be made out of different types of wood or stone, like the shipwreck, and maybe there could be a villager living there. I love the show and think this could be an interesting feature." Well, thank you so much for listening to the show. I think we've talked about this before.
I don't know.
Haven't we mentioned a bridge structure?
I can't remember. Not that I recall.
I can't remember either.
I didn't bring it up.
I like the idea,
mm-hmm.
especially if you have villages near rivers, which makes sense because in the history of mankind, most societies started on the coast of some kind of waterway, whether it be ocean, lake, river.
Mm-hmm. Water's valuable.
So it would make sense for a village to be near a river, and therefore it would make sense to have a bridge. That being said, how hard it is to get a village to interact with that kind of terrain, I'm not sure about.
Yeah. You think a bridge, just by itself, doesn't make too much sense. But you also have the well, desert well. Just kind of sits there. It doesn't make much sense. So, I mean, you could just put a bridge into the game with nothing around it. But ideally, I would like to see a village involved with it.
That's true.
Or maybe a pillager outpost.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Now, here's the other thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mojang's very big on structures being rather plain. They like to give you a blank slate so you can design things. So this structure wouldn't be much of an impressive build. So it would probably just be wood spanning the build.
Maybe.
So there's that, too.
There's different types of bridges. But then again, you kind of, I don't know, to generate different lengths of bridges, you'd have to have pretty specific terrain to generate those. That would be the issue.
Yeah. And the thing is, I love bridges in Minecraft. I like
Me too.
adding waterways to areas.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I agree. It's a cool idea. I always like new structures.
I do too. Especially simple structures.
Mm-hmm.
Carl threw this in here. I think he trying to toot his own horn a little bit. And this was a poll from our Spotify. It says, was Carl right to call the wild update Caves and Cliffs Part 3 during Minecraft Live 2021? 53% of you guys say yes, it's basically what we were promised for 117, and 47% said no, it's much bigger than what we were shown for 117. 34 votes on that one.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Carl there. I mean, it's pretty much...
I do too.
Caves and Cliffs.
When we first saw it, no way. Seeing what we're getting now, yeah.
The only thing that really challenged that it would be the swamp. I mean, we are getting a good bit from the swamp. You know, a new wood type is a big deal.
It is.
You know, because there's only so many. And then the mud.
I will throw out there that there's a lot of people saying how hard it is for wood types to be bringing to the game. We got 2 new wood types during the Nether update.
Mm-hmm.
So we only got 1 this time.
Yeah, one type of wood generates a lot of different items.
Yeah.
And a lot of building material.
Your connection is rough today.
Is it?
It's like every other word cutting out.
I don't like that.
Maybe it's just me, but...
I don't know. I feel like there's something in my throat. I keep coughing.
I've given you my sickness through the internet.
How'd I catch it through the mic? No, it is my connection, I see. That stinks.
Yeah, see, I didn't understand. I heard no, and then that was it.
Yeah, my connection. What? It's doing that again. What is going on? Come on, Comcast. Come on, Xfinity. We're messing around. We're recording here live. Did my bill get paid? Yes, it was paid.
Anyway, we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you so much for that question, NerdinessExtreme. That comment was from our Discord, and it's the only place where you can talk to everyone who works on the show easily. Just take YDYD's word for it.
Hey everyone, I'm YDYT and I'm a member of the Withering Effect Discord. It's a great place to hang out with fellow listeners like me and the people who work on the show. So join today and let's discuss the game we love. There are links in the show notes.
Thanks for the Discord ad YDYT, and speaking of Discord, it's the only place you get involved in our Mending Minecraft vote. This week we asked you to choose between one of 3 items for us to discuss and improve. Your choices were bucket, shears, sword.
And the winner of Mending Minecraft this week is...
How could you guys?
The winner of Mending Minecraft this week is... Shears, by a landslide, actually.
You know, what the were you guys thinking?
Yeah, I got some words to say about for the shears here. The bucket had 7 votes, shears with 27, and 12 for the sword. And before we get started, a few things on the shears. Shears are tools used primarily to shear sheep, to get wool, and mine few types of blocks. It's crafted with 2 iron ingots. Shears can be used to harvest blocks of wool, cobweb, leaves, tall grass, seagrass, ferns, both normal and too high. Is that true?
Yes.
You can't get too high true ferns, right?
Thought you could.
With shears? I don't know. I thought you could only...
You could mine fern and just bone meal it.
Yeah, but I don't think you could. Maybe that's a bedrock thing. I don't know. I've tried. I don't think you can.
Okay.
Dead bushes, nether sprouts, vines, weeping vines, twisting vines, and glow lichen. They can also be used to break tripwire connected to a tripwire hook without activating it. Didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Shears can now stop cave vines, kelp, weeping vines, and twisting vines from aging. It's a good feature. I think it's right click.
Yes.
Pretty good. And despite using iron in its crafting recipe, shears cannot be smelted into iron ingots or nuggets. They need to change that. I feel like that needs change.
Yep.
It's made of iron. But yeah, my first rant before you go on to change the shears is shears do so much. They do so much already.
Yep.
Like there's a bunch of stuff that I haven't mentioned, like you can shear a pumpkin to make it a carved pumpkin.
You can enchant them.
You can enchant them. Yeah, there's many enchantments you can put on them. There's way more than that I was just thinking. But we're both coughing and it keeps interrupting us.
Yeah.
Beehives, to get the honeycombs. Snow golems, remove their heads. You can also put them in dispensers, and they work with dispensers now.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Yeah, pretty versatile.
Right. Other than the hoe,
Mm-hmm.
it might be one of the most versatile tools in the game.
Yeah.
And yet it was chosen for menu Minecraft. Honestly, I'm not fixing them. This will be one of the first times I take a stand and say shears don't need to be fixed. There's nothing about shears that can be fixed. I'm breaking my own rule in saying that instead of fixing something, I'm creating something new. And I thought it would be hilarious to be able to put shears on an arrow and fire it. So you could shear something from a distance.
Ooh, maybe like go through the leaves because it's a shear.
Maybe it shears leaves off at a section. Maybe you need to cut a tripwire hook from a distance. I thought it was hilarious looking, so I'm going to go with it because shears don't need to be fixed. That's all there is to it. Shears are a great tool. They do a lot of stuff in Minecraft. I'm good with them.
Yeah, talking about buffing the Warden. Shears have been buffed many, many times. They just keep coming out with new things for the shears to do. I think the preventing the aging of vines and stuff. Not regular vines. I still think they need to do that.
They do.
With the vines. They need to be able to right-click that, stop them from aging. But yeah, that's a new thing.
Yeah, I don't know how it works with the glowberry vines, but not regular vines. I don't get that.
Yeah. It says, cave vines, weeping vines? I think cave vines is the glowberry vines. Yeah, even with kelp. So why not twisting vines too?
Yeah.
There's 3 different vines there and not regular ones. So yeah, that'd be a nice change.
Yeah, I can only assume there's just something in the code that keeps it from working correctly.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't think they have an age now that I think about it.
Probably not.
Vines just keep growing.
Yeah, but you'd think that would be an easier fix to add age to the vines.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
It's not like you have to, make it something ridiculous like 108 or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, arrow shears were the only things I could think of that would be fun.
Trying to think of another way to use them as a weapon. Probably don't want kids to play.
Yeah, you don't want kids running around with scissors.
Right, pretty much what they are.
Anyway, should we move on to the topic?
Yeah.
Kind of 2-part topic. I found a tweet from MrBrose. I'm going to say it real quick. It was a cool concept for a new villager. Basically having the mayor villager, they would use the bell as the workstation. Now, I said it would only have 1 mayor per village, but I have seen villages with multiple bells. So I don't know how that... I think you'd have to figure out a way to limit the bells in a village for that to happen.
I don't remember seeing more than 1.
I've seen 2 before, definitely.
Yeah, I only think I've seen 1.
But anyways, this mayor would give you tasks to complete, and then would reward you with XP and prizes as you finish said tasks. I like this. It brings a little bit more to villages and stuff instead of the normal trade. What exactly you would do for those tasks, I'm not sure. Maybe one of them is you have to milk a cow. So you could bring a bucket of milk to the mayor and then trade that bucket to get the task completed.
Yeah.
Maybe do the crops or whatever, stuff like that.
I'd really like it for there, if this was a thing, for there to be, that 1 mayor, and you couldn't, convert it. You couldn't change its profession. So you couldn't breed, make your villager breeder, give it a bell, and make it the mayor. This mayor would have to be generated by the game because of how unique it is. I think it would balance it out a little bit.
Honestly, I don't think it really needs a lot of balancing, because as of right now, it's not giving you anything. We're just kind of making stuff up.
Right.
As it is.
Yeah, instead of trading, it's, they reward you for tasks.
Yeah, but it's got to be tasks that you would know a village would have. So that's the hard part.
And what if you run out of tasks?
Well, that's just it. You're done. They mentioned maybe all the villagers in said village would give you a discount.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's kind of like Hero of the Village. You're doing a bunch of stuff for the village by completing tasks.
Well, it's a good alternative than constantly feeding your villagers to zombies.
Right. Yeah, it's another way to look at it.
That was my big thing. Sorry. Every sentence I have to stop and cough now.
I feel like I'm doing that too. The more I talk, the more my throat wants to cough. I don't like it.
Yeah, I've gone through about 4 cough drops this episode already.
This hasn't happened to me since just when we hit record. That's what it started doing it.
Yeah, I was pretty good before we hit record.
First task, take 4 cough drops, get 4 emeralds.
I'm sorry, this is going to be a short episode because I physically can't. Anyways, mayor concept, MrBrose, pretty cool.
I'd like to see more villagers like this.
Yeah.
Just different. Even if it wasn't called a villager, maybe some other kind of mob that did this. We got the wandering trader, which it's different, but it's also a villager. So, just different types of villagers, not the same old, you give me this, I'll give you emeralds, or
Yeah.
I'll give you an item type of deal. It's nice to trade. It can be OP, so it's nice to see a different kind of villager out there, especially with a concept like this that no one's really thought about.
Mm-hmm. But the other section of our main topic now was kind of a final thoughts before the release.
Mm-hmm. My final thoughts for the new update is somewhat disappointing, but also exciting at the same time. I really don't know how to put it. There's been other updates that I've been way more antsy about, way more excited to get my hands on. But the Deep, Dark, and Ancient Cities are probably the most unique part about it. And that's the part I'm looking forward to. And like I said before, I don't think I'm going to be able to experience it in the fullest if I don't go by myself. That's something that I do want to do and share my thoughts when I'm able to do that. As of right now, there's some cool items down there. There's really not anything to wow you about down there. I really like the compass. Really digging that. I do want to get one of those compasses. As of right now, it's hard to get enough materials to make one of those. So hopefully they can up the loot with the shards. What are those? What kind of shards are those? Echo shards.
Echo shards.
Yes. So it'd be nice if they could put more echo shards in the loot, or like you said, put a compass in the loot. A rare loot grab, but put one of those in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Especially on an SMP, everyone's gonna want one. I'm pretty sure.
Most people are gonna want one.
Yeah, I want one, but I'm not too impressed about the the whole redstone underneath of the portal as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts stand with that is a portal. I want to see what's in there. I think it's definitely when they release this, which I think they will. I don't know when. I'm not going to say when, but when they release this new dimension, it's going to wow us, and we're going to be happy they brought us this ancient city, because at that time you have to go down and meet the warden to get to this place. So until then, I'm going to say, this update, I can't give it like a low grade, because there are a lot of cool things. Like we mentioned before, a new wood type is a big deal. And the mangrove itself, it's not a very big biome. Even on the surface in the overworld, it's not a big update in that sense. So the main thing was the ancient city. But I think I'd give it a B, maybe a B minus. And I think I might be being nice.
I think you're being nice.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
I want to start out with, technically, this might be one of the more advanced releases we're getting. Vibrations are a huge mechanic.
Yes, that too.
100% will admit it.
Didn't even mention that.
It's a huge task to get these vibrations to work as well as they do.
Right.
That being said, it doesn't interest me. Will I use them in something? Probably. But it's not one of those... The only thing I could compare it to is the Observer. When the Observer came out, there was a lot of trying to fit the Observer in machines and contraptions where it didn't fit just because it was the new greatest thing. But then the Observer, over time, found its niche, its home, its spot in the redstoning community.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the way these skulk sensors are going to be. I think we're going to have a lot of people rush out, try to slam them in as many things as possible. And then it's going to kind of like die out. And then we'll see it brought in and used for a better purpose. But on its own, right now, the wild update's not wild to me. I do think they fully had intentions of creating a more ambient overworld. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was bit off more than they can chew, stuff not working out, or choosing to focus somewhere else. But it's not a wild update. The Deep Dark, Swift Sneak, and compasses and music discs that are just... I don't want to listen to that music disc, period. Like, ever. That brings nothing new to the table to me. And like I said, Recovery Compass, depending on where I am in a season, it's faster for me to trade with villagers. Is it cool? Yeah. Average players would probably like it. It's not worth me traveling to the Deep Dark multiple times to get it, though.
Right.
Warden, I've already talked about the Warden. It'll be fun hanging out with buddies, watching each other die.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the grind of Minecraft, having to go down there multiple times, I don't see it being fun. Third or fourth time in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you should only have to go once. But I totally forgot about the mechanics of the skulk sensors. That is a big mechanic they brought, and that might have been
It really is.
what, set them over to, keep it kind of smaller, because that is such a big deal right there.
Vibrations are huge.
Yeah, you're changing. I imagine they're changing a lot of code. I don't really know, but there's a lot of code implemented into the game when making a mechanic like that. It's like wireless redstone.
Right.
People's been asking for it, and I think they wanted to give it to us, but not what we expected it as.
Yeah. That being said, frogs are adorable. The allay is adorable, but even its functionality doesn't seem quite there. Mangrove swamps, I'm actually really excited for those. I love the look of the trees. I like the look of the mud. All the different wood blocks we're getting with that one wood type. The color was spot on. It looks really good. I can't wait to build with that red. What else? Let's see, this is it. I think that's it. And that's why I can't rank this update higher than a C.
Ooh, a C.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, well, we're getting a lot of stuff with the game or this update. I think over half of it is one wood type. Yeah, we're getting all the different wood blocks with said wood type. That's kind of understood that that's the way it should be done. I mean, we're still crying about concrete stairs and slabs here. Could you imagine if they gave us a new wood type without a wood fence for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are parts of this update I will enjoy, but its overall theme and basically how long it's taken to come, because it's Caves and Cliffs Part 3, like Carl said. Nothing wrong with that, but that's what it is. And I wasn't a fan of the first Caves and Cliffs update.
Right. I remember.
Deep Slate is easily the best block in the game. I will give them that. But essentially everything else that kind of came with it is kind of okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my thing is, I feel like this update right here, they had to give us this update to set us up for something big that's coming. And I'm not too sure what it is. I have a feeling it's that new dimension, new things, new mobs, new world, pretty much. New place to build in. What's the mechanics going to be like inside this world? What's it going to look like? I feel like this is a setup for something bigger.
I'm going the complete opposite. They've stressed over and over again, it's not a portal. So I'm taking their word for it for once. It's not a portal.
Yet. That's how I see it. They forgot to put yet at the end.
That very well could be. You could be exactly right. And it will be a portal area for new dimension and all that stuff. But that still doesn't change the fact that it's a disappointing update. And I won't even say it's disappointing because of the things we have been getting. Because like I said, vibrations are huge. I love mangrove, swamps, all that stuff. I think it's the way it was handled.
Yeah.
Some of the comments like we're not getting birch forest because that was just concept art comments. That was not a good look.
Yeah, I'm not really buying that.
If that was the case, we should have been told that from the get-go. But I don't think that was the case. I think birch forests were intended to be worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And either they ran out of time or they ran out of manpower, which is fine. We get it. But it's got to be brought to our attention that way. Fireflies being taken out. I know a lot of people are up in arms with fireflies. I get it. You couldn't get them to work right. But to say because frogs will eat fireflies and get poisoned, horrible excuse. Just say the mechanic's not working as expected. Put it on the back burner. We're okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's ways around that. Fireflies.
Archaeology update, bundles. We already had that happen with those. It's like, this isn't new. We can handle it.
Yeah.
Well, some of us can handle it because there are some people out there who are just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, you're right. There are things that were shown to us that we were supposed to have that we didn't end up getting. So then again, like we mentioned before, this was mentioned to the community way before like the updates coming out. I think we found out a couple weeks ago that we weren't getting these big things. Or no, I guess they're not too big, but yeah, they kind of went back on some things really close to the release.
And the cool thing is, if you're on Java and you really wanted those birch forests and fireflies, there is already data packs out there who have made those things possible.
Yeah, still enjoy those.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I'm still, regardless, I'm still excited to play the new update. That's the beauty of Minecraft. There's always a new update.
Yep.
The game's going to change a little bit. You don't have to pay for the new game, so love the idea of, just having these new releases, new updates given to us freely. So regardless, we're getting things new.
All right, before I have Jimbo read us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the show. Our milk level patrons are Arrington, Obney, Croc, Fragile Rock, KC Plays Games, Viper's Tuna, and Wire Guy. If you too would like to get access to exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/The Withering Effect.
If you like the show, you can share it with all of your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, rate and follow us so you never miss a future episode. Or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you'd like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com. Tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links are in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be. The amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Everyone's social media info can be found in the show notes. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for getting weirded with us. You should probably go drink some milk now. Bye.
See you guys.
Oh, Jimbo.
Check. I'm popping up on there. You can't hear me? Oh, my connection.
He's trying to come back.
Oh.
There he is.